What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I am Peck, Bulls_Peck, joined by Big Dave, BWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, and our pal and producer on the controls, Joey Spathis. He is at Joey Spathis. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome into another fresh week of Bulls Talk.
Yes.
May Bulls Talk.
Yeah.
Playoffs roll on, and here we are.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tell me about your weekend.
Uncle Matt had a great weekend.
Yes.
Thank y'all for holding down the fort for a couple episodes on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
I watched them. I loved them.
Yeah.
I already told Will and Law this, but I appreciated the fact that in my absence, they still, like, partly for me, but also for themselves, trolled Pat Bev for that dumb shit he pulled. Because you knew I would have been here saying, Pat Bev, what the hell?
Your spirit was felt.
Right. My heart was in a much brighter place. Because I was down in Texas playing with my nieces. So I was like, they can handle the Peck hate for a couple episodes.
It's a big burden. It's
a large dose.
Large dose.
It's a large dose.
I do want to say something.
What's up?
I want to say something. I had two things, but I forgot the first thing. So I'm just going with the second thing I wanted to say.
You can count that as one of the things to say.
Sure.
That you forgot one of the two things you were going to say.
Okay, bet.
There's one.
I didn't forget. It just worked out where I didn't have to do it like I thought I was going to do it.
Okay.
I didn't forget. Okay. Second thing. So someone, a fan of the show, hit me in the DMs, and he told me he's a big fan, what we do. Met us at a watch party and was like, y'all guys just incredible and, really love you guys. And then he told me that I inspired him to go back to school.
What?
And study sports broadcast.
Flex.
That is a flex.
Flex supreme.
I still don't kind of know how I feel about that. Like
that's an incredible.
I got almost got emotional on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
like,
I would have.
I was speechless. Like that was crazy to hear. You know what I mean? And I'm only saying this because you never know who you're affecting. You never know what you're saying and how it influences someone, or what you write and how it influences and how people take it. So your stuff has meaning is all I'm saying. Everything you do has some kind of meaning to someone. So don't ever think what you're doing doesn't have meaning to somebody, because somebody is watching that and being influenced by that and putting that in their lives so they can try to make themselves better. So thank you for saying that. Thank you for the kind message, man. And like I told you in the message, whatever you need, I got you. I know you're gonna do great things. And he don't even live here.
Big Dave, inspiring people to make changes in their lives for the better.
That was crazy.
Furthering their education.
Yeah.
Trying something new.
Yeah, man, that was crazy, bro.
That is really cool.
Delightful.
Yeah. So it matters. It matters what we do. The nice things that I say, the yelling that Matt does, the writing that Will does, and the production that Joey does. Everything we do matters. That's all I want y'all to know. It matters, bro.
Tell him to come chat Bulls with us sometime.
Yeah, bro. Yes. He's not even from here. But he came to a watch party, so
there it is.
Hopefully he comes to another one next season, and
hell yeah.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of love, bro.
All right, so today we're going to roll along with our player grades for the 23-24 season. Yeah. We got a real chunky one today. We're gonna hand out some grades to Nikola Vucevic.
Yeah.
Bulls center, who still has a couple years left on his deal. At the back end of us giving those grades, I thought we could touch a little bit more on whether or not he is even a tradable piece for AK and Eversley, if they were interested in that as part of their we need to make big moves this offseason kind of spiel. Because Bulls fans are throwing trades around, and Vooch is in a lot of them, and I think a lot of them are, Hope City. And then we'll wrap up today's show with we'll touch base on what's going on in the NBA playoffs. We got conference semis action tonight, doubleheader, Knicks Pacers kicking off, T-Wolves Nuggets game 2. Yeah. Then we'll also revisit how we did with our picks on what happened in those first round series.
Awesome.
Okay, so
I got one.
Accountability.
Yeah. Let's talk Vooch. I really don't want to. I feel like this is going to be a very depressing conversation.
I'm surprised to hear that. I feel like you would want to talk
about it.
Really?
Yeah. Bro, yeah. Like, you're back home, Peck hate is on the clock.
You think I want to be miserable?
Let the hate flow through
you. Joey, if you would be so kind as to throw some Vooch grades up there. Starting with Vooch on offense this season.
Okay.
Just real quick rundown. He put up 18 a game on some pretty nasty splits. 48.5% from the field. Respectable, but a dip down from last season when he shot 52% from the field. We gave him a little bit of credit for bringing his three-point shooting up last season to 35% after it had fallen all the way down to 31 and change. Jesus. This season, it ended at 29.4. Good God. Couldn't break 30. Couldn't break 30 from three. 82% from the line, but he didn't shoot that many free throws. 3.3 assists per game. Usage went up, actually, maybe partly because of Zach LaVine's extended absence this season, from 22 to 23.3. I just feel like every day we saw a new stat on NBA Twitter about how inefficient Vooch was scoring this season, and it was really hard to watch.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not alone there.
Yeah. No, you're not alone at all. We definitely saw those same stats, and we kind of laughed out of sadness because of those stats that we saw. Because it was one thing to just be in the middle of the pack, but he would be dead last. Yeah. You know, in the ones we were looking at. It was always just to the bottom. And when you're at the bottom or you're at the top, either one, that's where the attention of people are going to go. So you're either the worst or you're the best. You're first or you're last. Shout out Ricky Bobby. But he was last by like a thud. Ugh. You know, just a clonk. It wasn't even close. And that's what was the laughing to keep from crying was, Will. But he just really had a tough season for the Bulls this year.
He really did. And I've tried to be like not like a Vooch defender, but I feel like over the past 2.5, 3 years or whatever, how long he's been here, to try to focus on the things that he does well, the things that help the team, and not his drawbacks. Because he has drawbacks. I don't think anybody, Vooch included, would deny that. But I also think there are things that he does well. This year, I don't think he did a lot of those things well. You know, we talked to Mark Eversley last summer on our podcast, and he said, like, you know, we wanted to bring back a center because there aren't very many guys in the league who can do all three things: dribble, pass, shoot.
Right.
He did not shoot well. He shot under 30% on threes. And at a certain point, that really hurts you because it's like so inefficient, but you still need him to get them up because teams are leaving him open because he's out there because he needs to be a floor spacer for the team that has no shooting. So it's like this cycle of, you know, weakness magnifying weakness and like making things worse and worse. And I feel like Vooch, at the end of the day, like, I think he's lost a step from when he was at his peak, you know, 2-3 years ago when the Bulls traded for him. But even on top of that, I think he just had a very disappointing offensive season. I ended up going with, I believe, a C- on the grade. And the only reason I did is because his like advanced stats looked pretty good. I mean, he was above average in defensive EPM, or an offensive EPM rather. The team performed, I think, slightly worse with him on the court. But, you know, we talked about it a little bit towards the end of the season. Like, why are the Bulls going through Vooch in the post? Well, it's because like the alternatives are much worse. And so when you look at it that way, like, yes, he had a bad season individually. Yes, he was disappointing compared to what kind of expectations you have for a guy when you send him to a 3-year, $20 million a year contract. But he still was kind of a steady-ish offensive force for a team that just really struggled offensively. Yeah. So, you know, again, I don't think he individually was good, but I think that says more about the team around him than him necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, you can pick so many different stats to express how Vooch fell off a cliff offensively this season. Yeah, okay, he averaged 18 points a game, but he did it wildly inefficiently. One of my favorites, because, you know, Will, I know you and I both asked him to increase that assist percentage in our Prove It's for him at the beginning of the season, and he didn't do it. You know, 15.2.
And there was an opportunity for him to do so with Zach going down.
I think I asked him to get to 18. You even asked him to maybe bump that assist percentage up to 20. 15.2, kind of right around where it was. It came up a little bit from last season where I believe it was beneath 15. But his points generated by assists this season fell from 653 to 623. Comparable number of games. You know, he did, kudos to him, do the 82 last season. He played in the high 70s this season. This might be my favorite one, though. From Basketball Reference. Points added by true shot attempts by Vooch this season compared to the league average. So last season, his points added by true shot attempts compared to league average was a plus 31.5. Okay. Respectable. Very. When you think about even last season, Bulls fans not being impressed with Vooch and what he was doing offensively. This season, compared to league average, his points added by true shot attempt, negative 100.6.
They were asking him to make open threes, and he wasn't doing it. And, you know,
woof.
Like he also didn't get to the free throw line one time per game. Like he had 1.7 free throw attempts per game, which is fewer than one trip to the line. And I think the point that I wanted to drive home is like you lose Zach for the year. Yes, Kobe steps up. Yes, Io steps up a little bit. But like he's supposed to be the third All-Star in this team.
Yes,
and like he was the one that I felt like could have had a big year because now there's more usage for him. And I think the Bulls tried to go through him in the post. The one thing I think he did really improve on this year is the offensive rebounding. That became a big part of his game. Went from 1.9 offensive rebounds per game last year to 2.8. But overall, I just feel like it was just kind of a letdown of a season from him. Yeah, and they really needed more.
Yeah, that was it. I gave him probably the highest grade, obviously, offensively. It's a B-.
B-? Can we talk about that for a second?
I love how angry he sounds already. That was the only one I struggled over because I was like, I think I should give him a C for this. But I did it for two reasons. One, averaging 18 and 10 in the NBA is not easy, especially when you're shooting like ass. It's not an easy thing to do. And I appreciate, especially as a center, that is not shooting well, because as a center, your field goal percentage is supposed to be high.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing I wanted to touch on too. His true shooting percentage was, I think, like 54%. Average this year was like 57% for centers. It's like closer to 60.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was below average for like guards even. So anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine. And I thought he picked it up as the season started kind of coming towards the end. He had a few 20-20 games in there, but I thought he was more solid towards the end, and his three-point shooting picked up and got a little bit better towards the end. But again, it's hard for me to scoff at 18 and 10 and playing 76 games at the season and at the age that you are. Those are solid numbers, but if you go obviously inside of those numbers, you're like, oh, this is actual trash that we're looking at right here. And I get that. The other reason was I just want teams to see, hey, 18 to 10. Yeah, come on, guys, check him out.
Come on down.
He's got some numbers. He's got those numbers. So I was like, give him a B.
That's the sound effect for Dave trying to bump Vooch's trade value this summer.
Yeah, that's it. The B is for pew pew. It's B for pew pew pew.
AJ in the comments saying, nah, Dave, usually you're my dog, but this one ain't it.
Hey, man, it's all right. I ain't got to get them all that you feel I should get them right, but I'm going to get them how I feel. You dig? And that's just how I feel.
You dig? Jim saying one of the criticisms of Vooch when he was coming over from Orlando was empty calories after 3.5 seasons. That's exactly how I feel about him. Julia saying, Vooch looks extremely lazy. Maybe it's just his demeanor. The only excitement for him was beating up that chair. Season highlight, really, when you think about it.
Oh, that chair, boy. I want to interview that chair, man.
Between that and the DeMar ripping half on timeouts,
Look,
my goodness. Yeah. This was a frustrated team this season.
Hey, let's run it back.
Yeah, let's do it again.
They didn't say that, though. I'll say that.
But speaking of Julia's comment about the laziness, I think Bulls fans, a lot of them point to that on the defensive end. And I don't necessarily think that Vooch is a lazy defender. I think he's playing in a system that isn't ideal. We know that he's never been an elite rim protector. Yeah. What he had been in a Bulls jersey up until this season was at least an elite defensive rebounder. Yes. And that's why I dropped his defensive grade down from last season, because he had a 30.2 defensive rebounding percentage last season. Not quite as elite as the season prior, but still damn good.
Yeah.
This season, it fell to beneath 26%. So, like, the one thing you could do for us on the defensive end, Vooch, in this weird, not quite drop coverage scheme that the Bulls just got roasted on a nightly basis, grab the boards. Yeah. Grab the boards.
Yeah.
He didn't even do that at an elite level this season.
You will watch him get outworked on a bunch of those times. Like, he would do it early when the game started, and then he would just kind of disappear. And then he would come back around in the fourth quarter, and try to do those things. Or maybe sometimes early in the third. But, yeah, I've watched him just get bodied by a bunch of centers and power forwards and small forwards and a couple of guards who would get in there and just get rebounds on him. Was he tired? I don't know. Was he worn out? I'm pretty sure he was. Like, he was playing in a system that requires you to be a solid defender, and he's just not a solid defender. Like, that's just not who he is. But, yeah, his defense for me was a total failure. It was ass.
But you gave him an F.
Yeah.
Flat F.
Yeah, I did. I mean, what else? Let me get AJ back on my team right here. Yes, he gets an F, dog. Like, what else can I give him? I didn't see anything else that I could look at and give him. I just saw here in the rundown, you had my predictions up. what I wanted him to do.
Yeah, so your prove it for Vooch coming into the season was you wanted him to set a new career high for total rebounds because he had, I think, just over 900 last year.
Correct.
But his career high was 960.
Yes.
This year, 801. So he was shy by 160 of the goal. Wait, it was a lofty goal you set for him.
It was. But damn, I wanted him to get there, and then it would move him up a little bit on the Bulls rebounding, list and all those other kind of things as well.
Right.
But it was just that, we would watch him just guys take the ball from him, and I think that's what it was. You wouldn't see the fight for it. Drummond wouldn't get every rebound. Drummond would fight you for it. You know what I mean? I want to see some fight in that. And you can't tell me you're always saving it for the offensive side because you come down and you shoot 3 and you're shooting 29%. So it's really hard to defend that. You got dunked on, stolen from, couldn't defend. It was just all around bad marks for me, and I didn't see how I wasn't generous on the defense as I was on the offense.
We got to take our first break right there. When we come back on the other side, we can get more Goat's thoughts on Vooch on the defensive end this season. Yay, this fun conversation rolls along. While we are sharing these words from our friends and sponsors, you know what to do, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube, maybe catching the replay on YouTube. Make sure you also subscribe to that CHGO Sports YouTube
Force is having a good
channel.
time.
Golden Force.
This is the episode I've been waiting
out. The Vooch hater episode.
You've been waiting on it, man. You've been waiting on
Here we are, y'all. We made it. Big Dave, who's first today?
Oh, the only thing that would make it better is just if I have some delicious Salerno's pizza sitting right here that I can enjoy piping hot. Look, even Joey said, Troll Joey said, thumbs on the pizza? Yes, please.
How many Salerno's pizzas do you think Troll Joe's eaten in his life?
Oh, man, a ton. We're
talking triple digits?
Yeah, because he got as many thumbs as he has. It's probably as many pizzas as he's had as well. I don't know if that's the only thing he eats his pizza, but I know he's got thumbs. He sprinkles them on. You know what I mean? Like that. Is it a cheese pizza, Joe, or is it other toppings with the thumbs?
It's just thumbs.
It's just thumbs?
Don't ask me.
Thumbs and cheese?
How would I know?
Thumbs and cheese.
I mean, y'all share a resemblance. I'm just checking. All right.
Resemblance.
But get on down, y'all.
I need a graphic
Not
of a
residence.
pizza with the toppings being thumbs. And Troll Joe hovering over it, drooling.
And you can be drooling too and enjoying your Salerno's pizza, y'all. You can stop by Salerno's on Tap. It's located at 1201 West Grand Avenue in Chicago's West Town. Enjoy that tavern-style pizza and a few ice-cold beers. And if you're headed to the game, or if you want to watch the game live on their big screens, or you want to watch it at home, either way it goes, Salerno's is going to have you covered, man. Go to salernos.com. Salerno'sPizza.com or call 312-666-3444. And if you mention CHGO, you will get 50% off your order of pizza. Did you hear what I said? 50% off your order of pizza. All you have to do is mention CHGO and go to the Salerno's on Grand Avenue. Yes, enjoy your whole night with 50% off of some delicious Salerno's pizza.
While you're eating that pizza and watching yourself some NBA playoff action tonight, you can maybe also get some picks in before you share it out on that pizza on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America, the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS because it's just you against the numbers, and you are picking the numbers.
Yes, you are.
Instead of battling thousands of other players, pros, sharks, daily fantasy weirdos lurking in their mom's basements. You just pick more than or less than on anywhere from 2 to 6 different player stat projections on the game that you're stoked to watch tonight and watch the winnings roll in. We got, as I mentioned, East Conference semis tipping off tonight. We got Knicks Pacers, throwback to a great 90s rivalry.
Well, that's true. That was
Make some picks on that one. We got Nuggets at home trying to bounce back from a Game 1 loss to Ants and the T-Wolves. Also, shout out to your boy Naz Reid. Maybe you want to pick more than on Naz Reid. I haven't checked his points yet on Prize Picks, but 14 fourth-quarter points for Naz Reid in Game 1.
It's huge, man.
Huge.
6th man of the year.
Naz Reid. Just burying people.
It's just crazy to say. But
and you could turn Naz Reid's playoff performances into cash in your pocket by picking Naz Reid to do more of that point scoring on Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO. Use promo code CHGO for a first-time deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO. Promo code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Okay. Merrily we roll along evaluating Vooch's season. Will, your thoughts on what we saw from the Vooch defense?
So last year the Bulls were 5th in defense. I believe this year they were 21st.
Woo! Moving on up.
And like, what were the main differences in terms of roster? There weren't any. You lose Zach LaVine, who's not really
Continuity.
a great defensive player, but you put Io back into the rotation. Kobe, I think we can all agree, did improve there, but
Sure.
like
Patrick Williams plus defensive player.
Patrick Williams was gone. That's true. But like this defense was kind of built to insulate against Vooch's deficiencies, right? You put him into the screening actions, you bring help behind him, and then you scramble out to rotations if somebody turns a corner on him.
Right.
And so, like, I think a lot of the problem was the rotations more than Vooch in this system. However, Vooch is obviously, he did not perform to the same level he did last year. The defense was better with him off the court compared to when he sat. When he was on the court, opponents scored 117.9 points per 100 possessions. When he was off the court, 114.9. So 3 points per 100 possessions better with Vooch off the court. And that's a big difference. I mean, the worst team in the league defensively this year was, or I guess I'll do it this way. The Detroit Pistons were 25th in defense at 118. So same as with Vooch on the court.
Wow.
With Vooch on the court, they would have been 18th. So that's a big drop off.
Yeah.
And again, I think the Bulls, like Billy in particular, did a good job strategizing to like make up for a lot of what Vooch does not do well. But at the end of the day, like there's a lot Vooch does not do well. It prevents them from playing versatile styles of defense. It prevents them from being able to switch. I think Vooch tried to get out, and contain an island. There were times where he would be kind of in those positions. There were times when he had to play the 4 because they were playing Drummond so much because there were other limitations with the roster. I don't want to like make the Bulls' defensive shortcomings Vooch's fault, but he was a big part of it. And so, and I don't think he like stood out in any way on the defensive end. So I think I went like D- defensively, which definitely sounds harsh. I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that it could have been worse, but I don't think this was like for lack of effort. I saw that comment. Like, I really do think Vooch competes. It's just that he's a limited player. He just is.
Yeah. And Will, I think that's why he got the F from me, was because we all know his shortcomings defensively, but like you said, he didn't stand out on certain things. What we all know he's really good at is defensive rebounding, and that got worse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So the one thing you were good at on that side, you get worse at, you get an F. Like that's how that goes, man.
Rob in the comments saying Billy could have helped Vooch's stats if he played him less minutes. The games we needed more pace and rebounding than he was giving. Julie saying, Will, oh my, no one can help Vooch.
You got him the D+ up there, man.
Yeah.
Huh?
I was like somebody who's averaging 8 or 9 defensive boards for you a game.
Sure.
I don't know if I was like, I can't give him an F. Dude's putting up double-digit rebounds. I can't give him an F, but you can.
Au contraire, mon frère.
And good for you. I thought about it. I really did.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about our meathead grades. I feel like these are going to be fun because so like my D+ and my offense, or my D- offense and my D+ defense bounced out to a D, and I love how all of us were just like get D. We got there from different paths, but all of us were like, that's a D season.
To me, it was a D for disappointing.
Ooh.
He really, I think, did not deliver on what he needed to based on the contract that they just gave him, based on the fact that Zach went down. Like, they needed more from Vooch in order to achieve at a higher level this year.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it.
Yeah, and they did not get it at all.
Okay, let's take a look at those meathead grades, Joe, and see if we can get ourselves a guess or two here.
Oh, who we starting with?
Who do you want to start with?
I feel like Will. Let's start with Will. Will's. I feel like it's about money, because Will's are always about a contract.
Okay. I know the 42,
but
something 42 million, but it's not 42 million a year. It's 42 over the next 2 years.
Buy up. I don't know. Joe, you think of something? No, Joey's got nothing.
Big ups, 42 million.
No, sir.
Oh man.
I don't know, Will.
I'm stumped.
Buckle up for 2 more years.
Oh God. You tricked us with the 4.
Yeah,
the number 4
Yeah,
for the word 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mix
God.
it up a little bit.
For 2 more years.
Jesus. Buckle up.
But if we're talking about
That
like,
was good.
well,
That was
I'll
really
save it
good. That was really good.
Yeah, we can have that part of the conversation too. But all right, so Dave, what did you have?
Anybody?
Man, I wish something.
Something with Peter Patton.
Man, yeah.
You're close.
Ooh. Make it work, Peter Patton.
Ooh, good guess.
That's where I was leaning.
Very good guess. No. Joey? Just like I'm not even tipping. Move in with Peter Patton. Move in. Take your stuff.
Man.
Just move in with this man. Live with him. And just shoot every single day, dog. That's all I need you to do. 29% is just completely unacceptable for a guy that takes that many threes. And like Will said, Bulls are somewhat reliant on those things, man.
Yeah.
You have to improve that. And especially if those numbers, like the rebounding numbers are going to fall, if your points and touches might fall as well, your 3-point shooting numbers have to be there because you'll be open and you'll be getting those opportunities for sure. They've got to improve better than 29, bro.
And that's the thing. I touched on it earlier. His usage percentage actually went up this season, and largely probably from Zach's absence. But
Yes, correct.
I mean, all of those open looks, NBA Math was tweeting about it at various points throughout the season. The shooters, the 3-point shooters across the league who had the most wide open looks and their efficiency.
Yeah.
Vooch was at the freaking bottom. Like,
Thud.
come on, man.
Another thud. Another clonk clonk down there.
Clang, clang.
Clank, clank.
Trolley bell.
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Come on, Joey.
We got one more.
Ding, ding, ding with the bell.
Hey.
Teaching the youth.
Mine is a pretty frequently used expression, and it started getting popularity around a certain.
I feel like you yelled this. I don't even know what it is, but I feel like you yelled it.
Also, kind of looks like a jumbling of Beowulf, but it's not that.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. Let's see. Why?
It was like sort of a meme that went viral years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
and not connected to the NBA.
I don't know. It feels mean.
Oh, it's for sure mean.
It feels mean. It feels mean and definitely yelly.
Yelly.
Definitely very yelly right there. I don't know. What we got, Matt? What you got, Will?
Any guesses?
I got nothing.
Nothing? Joey, I'm sure Joey's like, no. Yeah.
All right. You ready for it?
Come on with it.
Our expectations were low, but holy fuck.
Oh, my God. Yeah. It was. Yeah. We weren't expecting much, but damn. You didn't give us that.
That's really all I can say.
It was tough, man. It's a tough thing to critique the starting center. And like Will said, somebody who's projected as like your third all-star, they're supposed to give it to, and you're getting grades like this. Whether they're C's or whatever, what they aren't going to be in any debate on is any A's or B's. You know what I mean? Like, there's just not a debate. Those things won't be there on this grading for how he played. So it's depressing. It's a little sad. And they will say, buckle up. For 2 more of these years that's going on right here, man. But he's got stuff to prove. He really, really, really has stuff to prove. What kind of pride does he have? I do think he's a prideful guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't question his effort like you said, Will. Like, I don't question his effort out there. You know, the dudes beating up chairs, you know what I'm saying, and throwing mouthpieces.
Yeah.
They got effort. You know what I mean? Like, he's got some fire for sure. Vooch definitely has fire and he wants to play. It just wasn't translating on the floor on a consistent basis, and the things we thought you should be doing better, you got worse at, and you've got something to prove, bro. Because no matter how you look at it, that contract is going to hang over his head, and it magnifies it and makes it
and
even
the
greater.
trade itself, like that. I think.
And the trade itself
is a big part of this. But look, I mean, when they went to Nashville and we're talking about playing and at media day, playing through Vooch, more dribble handoffs, like more, playing through him as an offensive hub, like that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
And so like I think there was probably a level of frustration from Vooch that they weren't playing a style that they kind of wanted to, that I think really would have maximized and made his skills pop a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So they weren't doing that. The shot wasn't falling. There were injuries that kind of threw everything into, this team having to kind of figure out who they were midway through the season when they realized Zach wasn't coming back. Ultimately, the whole team just said, you know what, screw this. Let's just go back to giving it to DeMar because that's the only thing we can rely on consistently. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there was probably a level of frustration coming from Vooch that, like, they tried to do this thing and it either didn't work or they just gave up on it too soon. Whether that was because it didn't work or they didn't feel comfortable with it or because of the injuries, whatever it may have been, the reality is, like, it just did not work out. And, I'm not saying he is the whole problem, but I am saying he's part of it. And, yeah, I feel like this would have been an opportunity for him to kind of step up and be a little bit more of a reliable offensive player for sure. The defense, I don't know that I would have like expected a much higher level.
Sure.
But yeah, I just feel like overall to me, like pretty disappointing for a guy that you lock in for a 3-year contract. And now, there's other questions about like, is he movable? Do you want to move him? Can you move him? What does this mean for how you think about the rest of the cap sheet, knowing that you've got this $20 million annually on there? And bigger picture than that, like, what does this tell you about whether it's a good idea to trade for all-stars at the back end of their prime? And what does it tell you about whether or not to extend all-stars at the back end of their prime? Because they've got that decision to make now with DeRozan. So to me, like, Vooch is kind of like a microcosm for all of management's like struggles or shortcomings.
Yeah.
And I think he gets the short end of the stick on a lot of that. Like, I don't think he's a bad player at times.
Golden Force in the comments saying, as much as I'm frustrated with Vooch, it's not his fault. Organizational failure.
Yeah, exactly what I'm trying to say.
Piece,
I mean, it's partly his fault for
that's what I'm saying.
Shooting like
he,
ass.
He underachieved. He shot really poorly. And I don't think he played up to his level. But again, I think you're spot on, Golden Force. Like, this is an organizational thing, not just him. He just happens to be the poster boy for the AK regime.
Correct. And the person on the poster gets that shit too.
I do want to talk a little bit more. Sorry, Dave.
No, I'm just saying not all of it. Like,
not all of it. A bit more about whether or not Vooch is even tradable if AK and Eversley wanted to explore that this offseason, because I know Bulls fans certainly are interested in that idea. But let's knock out our second ad break before we do that. While we're doing that, hit that thumb if you didn't do it the first time around. Now's your chance. Maybe you'll get it on a pizza from Troll Joe later. You never know. Dave, who's next?
Troll Joe, what's happening? Enjoy your pizza, Troll Joe?
Yeah.
Game Time is authorized ticket marketplace of the NBA, which makes getting playoff tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip-off with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices views from your seat, and the lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those NBA playoff tickets. Like I told y'all, they got the last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off of buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. You name it. When GOAT does his one-man show, you'll get 60% off of that, ladies and gentlemen. The flash deals. You can save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. And, of course, there's own deals. You can save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time go ahead and do your selecting. Ooh. That was sexy. And the all-in pricing. That's right. This feature shows the total up front with no surprise fees at the checkout. Don't you hate when that happens? As soon as you get to the end, they're like, oh, we put on a walking fee for $40 for you right here. The hell is a walking fee?
It's like $100 additionally to what the price is.
Always. Oh, it's a H2O fee, guys. You got to have that. You want air, don't you? Air's free. Not in this concert. It's not, buddy. Extra fee. Game Time won't do that to you because they will give you the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. You heard what I said. They got your back. So take that guesswork out of buying those NBA playoff tickets with Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, use that code CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
Terms apply.
That's CHGO. Get yourself $20 off your first purchase.
Terms apply.
Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Because Uncle Peck, Uncle Matt, what time is it?
Game Time. Who? Yes. I mean, talk about burying the lead. Can we learn more about GOAT's one-man show that we can get tickets to?
You don't want to brag about it, you know what I mean? But it's on the way.
You guys don't have to buy tickets for this show. You're watching for free on YouTube.
I would really like to see the GOAT one-man show. Is it a telling of your life story?
It's just me reading through
you
NBA
playing
CBA
multiple
documents.
different characters. Wait, it's you reading what?
The CBA documents.
from each stage of his life.
Yeah. Awesome.
Age 12. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, speaking of nerdy NBA shit, if y'all haven't read it yet, GOAT dropped an amazing Bulls offseason, what would you call it? Catalog, overview?
Manifesto.
Guide, manifesto.
Yes, sir.
It is up on all CHGO right now. Die Hard or free for all to read?
Free for all.
Free for all to read. Go give it a read because we're going to break it down on tomorrow's episode.
Lucky you.
So go give that a read. While you're giving it a read, if you're thirsty, because reading makes you thirsty,
Yes, it does.
grab yourself a Coors Light.
Do that.
An icy cold one. Between work, social media, reading the new NBA CBA, all kinds of choices and problems life throw our way. It's no wonder we're more worked up sometimes. Coors Light, they celebrate rising above all of that nonsense and choosing a chill mindset.
Chill.
Why not turn a Rain Now barbecue into a karaoke house party? Or the Bulls not jumping up in next Sunday's draft lottery by, just cracking a cold one.
Why is it on Sunday?
It'll make you feel better. Also, we don't know why it's on Sunday. Mother's Day, NBA draft lottery, really NBA? Why?
Come on.
Well, that's some nonsense.
Yeah.
Forget that nonsense. Just crack yourself a Coors Light. Make the choice and choose chill. Then reach for a Coors Light. It's a mountain cold refreshment, y'all. And here's the thing. When the mountains turn blue, you know it's as cold as the Rockies. Cans, bottles, whatever. Coors Light is cold lager, cold filter, and cold package for a smoother finish. When you embrace that chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill. Crack open that Coors Light. Here's what you do. You can get it delivered straight to your door.
What?
You want some Coors Light right now? Sound good? Yeah. Go to CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball and you can get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart. That is CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Colorado. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Okay. People in the comments talking about Vooch trade packages.
Okay.
Woo.
They got a couple good ones.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Exciting.
People are talking about do you need to attach an asset to Vooch if you wanted to get off of Vooch's money? Zach saying Vooch is so bad, please trade him, Bulls. Andrew saying anyone's tradable if you're willing to take back the worst end of the deal. Rob suggesting attach AC with Vooch if you know AC is leaving. But I love to keep Io and AC because of that 3 and D. So it is 2 years and $41.5 million remaining for Vooch.
Okay.
Who himself said before this past season just started, this kind of feels like an end of the road make or break season for us as a core of players.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he was fresh off a 3-year deal.
Right before that.
3-year deal, freshly inked. It's do or die time for this roster, guys. As weird as that is, he has 2 years fully guaranteed remaining.
Oh my goodness.
Do you think that if the Bulls were interested in moving him and finding a new option as their starting center moving forward, that they would have to give up an asset to move him? Because I think that the answer is obviously yes.
Well, Joe Cowley of the Sun-Times, I believe it was
Big Vooch stan.
Yes, he is.
last week, maybe last Tuesday, was writing an article about just some of the other changes going on with the organization. I think specifically about Chip Schaefer being let go. But he said that the Bulls will begin looking at making changes to their roster in May, and that's really where the focus should start. The Sun-Times and other media outlets have reported that the Bulls' top offseason priority will be to rid themselves of the rest of guard Zach LaVine's max contract and to find common ground on an extension for forward DeMar DeRozan. What's the change there? Then he goes on to say, there has been growing speculation that the Bulls might also explore the trade market for center Nikola Vucevic, but it will be difficult to move him because his type of middle-class contract, $20 million per year, is becoming extinct with the new labor deal. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. I actually think in some ways those kind of contracts are more compelling to teams, because they don't want to have 3 max players. They want to have 1 or 2 max guys and then a bunch of solid role players and high-level role players around them. So I don't think the contract itself is impossible to move. And in fact, there's no contract that's impossible to move. You just have to attach the right stuff to it.
Correct.
I I just think that it's going to be his contract is unlikely to net you positive value. And so given the fact that he's got 2 more years, I would rather just hang on to him. And this kind of goes for Zach too, because like I would not feel comfortable trending towards a rebuild, whether they want to admit to it or not, whether they want to go bottom out this year or not. Like, they are heading towards a rebuild. DeMar is 35. Even if they re-sign him, they're going to get bad at some point.
Vooch is 35.
Vooch is 35. So my point is, like, unless you can like get good value for him in return, why not just move on from DeRozan, sign and trade, or just let him walk and let Zach and Vooch put up some big numbers next year until the trade deadline, and then you try to move them then, because they'll have, Vooch will have 1.5 years left on his deal. Zach will have 2.5. They will have played hopefully at a higher level, put up some numbers. Teams can feel a little bit more comfortable with them. I wouldn't be in a rush to move either of those guys. That's not the order that I would go, because I would go probably a different direction. But for the Bulls, I just don't see AK moving on from Vooch. He seems to be such like a stabilizing force of what AK wants out of this group. And like, if he is trying to make changes, then like, where do you go at center?
Stabilizing thing for this. He just finally admitted this group is shit and needs to go. God damn it! What are we doing?
I mean, that's kind of my whole point, and that's why I wrote this offseason thing. Like, I don't really get what they're trying to do. If the idea is to keep Vooch and DeMar, then you're gonna be the same team as you were last year. If you're going to trade Zach for nothing, then like you're literally going to be the same team that just lost in the play-in last year. So I don't really understand the point of that. Again, to me, the direction would be trade DeMar, let him walk, and trade Caruso for sure. But like, I just don't see the value in trying to get rid of, salary dump, sell low on your players when you also have guys that you could sell high on and actually reset some things and hopefully get to a point where you could get something positive in return for Zach and Vooch in 6 months' time.
Let me ask you 2 things. One, when you say good value for Vooch, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you consider getting good value?
I would say like you could get a young player or a pick. I don't think that you could do that right now. I think you probably have to attach an asset to get rid of Vooch. I could see teams being interested, but he's making good money, and I just don't think they're going to be willing to give up a lot for him. Like, would the Clippers want him to be a starter over Zubats? Probably not. Like, Zubats is good. But would they want him to be a backup? Maybe, but that's a lot of money for a backup center. Same with the Sixers. Like, they really needed a backup because Embiid cannot stay healthy. Do they want to spend $20 million of their precious cap space where they're trying to go for Paul George on a backup center? Like, I just don't see a lot of teams being actively interested to where they're giving up assets because this is also a big contract. It's obviously not the same as Zach's, but to me, like, I would rather wait until halfway through the season, he's putting up 20 and 10, the offense is kind of moving through him a little bit more, and he's got 1.5 years left on his deal. Like, that's much more palatable to where teams might be interested in actually giving you something for him. But really, like, I would not want to trade anybody if you have to attach stuff to get off of them. The Bulls should be in asset acquisition mode, not in dumping their bad stuff. Like, when you're a bad team and when you're rebuilding, you take on bad contracts in exchange for picks, right? That's what the Bulls need to be doing. Unfortunately, they don't have space to do that. So they should hold on to what they have and wait until they can get positive value. And in the meantime, get positive value for the things they can get positive value for.
The other thing, the Bulls, the lowest they can pick is 11, correct?
No, they can fall.
Not correct.
They can fall farther.
They
If
can
the team
fall.
behind them jumps up.
Okay.
Exactly.
What's the furthest they could fall?
Technically 14.
14. I feel like in that 14 or top 14
Very unlikely.
range, very unlikely, but I feel like within that range, they can find some kind of center within that, because centers are not a priority in the NBA anymore. So you might get a good pick of the litter, or what's considered a good pick of the litter as a center, and start over that way. You know what I mean? When you're moving forward, maybe somebody a little more defensive minded more than anything, and then play it that way.
But would you feel comfortable, like,
Yes.
giving up Io in order to get off Vooch?
No, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it. No.
Because I feel like that's kind of what it's going to come down to. And I would not do that.
I wouldn't do that either. For me, but you know how I feel. I feel like it always just takes one GM. I don't think every GM is as smart as you. I just don't. I think
think
there
they're
are
all
a
smart,
bunch.
but-
I think there are a bunch of them who will be in desperation mode or just want to make a move for the sake of making a move for their franchise and their team because they feel like they can see 18-10 and can move forward with that. Oh, he's only got a couple years left, like you stated. Only got a couple years left. He's still giving up 18-10. You know, that's still a serviceable guy. Yeah, you know what I mean? We might take a chance on that. You know, we're trying to make this move. We're trying to make this run. I think there's definitely a GM out there like that. I just want to see if there is. I think there's a GM who might be more willing to do Vooch than they would Zach LaVine, which is wild.
I think there could be some interest in both of those guys. I would rather, though, just draft that center, have them back up Vooch because you're going to lose Drummond, and just try to move Vooch later. Like I wouldn't want to. I would feel very averse to giving stuff up to clear your books. Like for what? What are they hoping to? How are they hoping to get better? I mean, there's like a couple of good free agents, but they're not going to choose the Bulls, especially if the Bulls have to move stuff to get off of their good players in order to create space to bring those guys in. So to me, like the priority would not be moving Vooch. If you can find a suitor, great. But to me, like, why not get value for the stuff that actually is valuable now and then move on from, you know, the stuff that isn't valuable when it's time to expire or when somebody's willing to give you something for it.
Shout out to Amari in the comments who just said, call up Greg Monroe. There's a great solution. Just see what Greg Monroe's up to.
Greg Monroe.
I believe we have a veiled shot or two at Billy from the Billy Haters Club relating to Vooch. Chris Davis, shout out to you, saying, who takes accountability for not playing through Vooch? Multiple people. Vooch not being good enough to play through. Billy not having faith in that offense working because still the best thing he has is DeMar.
Yeah.
Chris Davis following that up with who's going to push Vooch to play up to his level, because that was the most frustrating part to me personally. I know we can get more out of him. I'm not seeing it consistently. Are you sure?
Also, like,
I don't.
Okay, so Dave wants him to move in with Peter Patton. So there's one idea. My answer to that would be who do we get to have Vooch step up? How about Vooch?
What players are getting better at age 34?
Yeah.
He's just old. Like I'm talking about like expectations. I mean,
I know
he's an older player.
Funny.
It's silly to expect him to like do the LeBron thing where he's playing until he's 40. That's just not going to happen.
Especially at center.
Even Chris Paul, like he's anomalous in the sense that he's 39 and still playing in the league, but he's also fallen off a cliff. And like he was good at age 35, 36, whatever, but he wasn't the best player on his team.
Yeah. No,
I don't think like it's okay if he's not an all-star center anymore. I don't think anybody should like he's not going to be an all-star again. I don't think that's a hot take.
No,
but
it's not.
I also think that like he's a fine rotation player. I would feel comfortable having him be the guy where you are kind of running offense through him. If you draft somebody at 11 and you move on from DeMar and maybe get a young player in for Caruso, and he can be like sort of an offensive hub, a lower level one than like a Bam Adebayo or a Jokic or something, but like he can help kind of stabilize a young group and help them understand how to play in the half court, move off the ball, cut, come off of screens. Like I think there's value in that. It's just not going to be like a high level, 36 minutes a game, scoring 20 and picking up 12 rebounds, like and competing for the championship. That's not. This team is nowhere close to that. And like, I think the last thing I'll say on this is that like, I mean, AK is talking about change. Yes, that needs to happen. But you're looking at teams like the Miami Heat today have their exit interviews.
Shout out Pat
and
Riley.
Pat Riley just absolutely
eviscerated,
going sicko mode on his team.
Pat Riley fully expected them to be back in the finals.
Yeah, rings or nothing. That's it. That's how he feels.
Like, yeah. I mean, this team is the Bulls. First of all, lost to a team without their best player in a elimination game, in a playoff game, like a season on the line game, missing their best player, missing their second best offensive player, and that team who they lost to got obliterated in the first round. Like the Bulls are so far away. I don't think
that one spot up, but
like putting the Bulls in a position where like they're making changes around DeMar and Vooch. Like, what are we talking about here? They can't even make the playoffs.
Bulls would have been swept by an aggregate of 400 points.
They cannot even make the playoffs.
No. It's ridiculous.
They're the 20th best team in a league of 30 teams. What are we talking about?
D'Angelo in the comments said, Vooch needs to be traded. I don't care if you have to attach Zach to get rid of him. Hello, this is Arturas from the Chicago Bulls. May I interest you in a washed, aging center who just had a horrible season and also taking our overpaid, disgruntled all-star who's no longer an all-star coming off of this season?
$65 million. Will you take 7 draft picks in order to
Would you like
for me?
this crappy asset if we attach this also kind of crappy asset? Huh? Could we perhaps sweeten the deal with a Dalen Terry, which so many Bulls fans think is the magic solution to getting other teams to take this crap that we're trying to get rid of? What if we throw in Dalen? What if we throw in Sanogo?
Sanogo! No, man, I'm going to have a tough time throwing in the 20-20 guy. Sorry, I tried to do that without laughing.
You couldn't do it.
I couldn't
do it.
I couldn't. I tried.
Oh, wow.
I tried. Shout out to No-Go.
Robert, with a perhaps slightly more realistic saying, do you think attaching a C gets us off of Vooch?
It's a good question.
That absolutely could get done.
It gets you off of him, but
then all you're getting for Alex Caruso is not having Vooch's contract.
Why not just trade Alex Caruso for a pick and a young player and then hold on to Vooch because you're going to be bad anyway?
At this point, there's no opportunity cost. What are you cashing that in for? What do you need to be that?
He's not turning into assets via trade, and his space, just salary dumping him doesn't. You're not doing anything with that cap space.
Right. What do they want to do with the cap space is the question. Are you that desperate to free up 2 years right now?
It's so that they can bring back DeMar.
So interesting.
Rob saying, are there any teams left in the playoffs that have injuries, are still winning? The answer is no. Or the Knicks, Julius Randle.
What
hello.
You mean? They all injured.
Yeah. Everyone's Jamal Murray's playing through an injury right now.
Boston is injured.
Boston's hurt. Kristaps, what's going on there?
Yeah.
I do think Vooch could look good in OKC. They need a backup center. They want guys who can space the floor. That could work.
I think he'll look good on all 29 other teams, firstly.
Yeah.
still trying to prop up that trade value review. Speaking of those NBA playoffs, let's shift gears here and spend a little bit of time on the back end of the show. Recapping quickly the results of those first round series. We are moving into round 2. Well, we started round 2 Saturday night with Nuggets Wolves game 1.
Okay.
But wanted to just see how we did. As far as who we had coming out of those first round series in both the East and the West. I feel like we did pretty well, gentlemen. We each had, I think, a miss on who won what series, maybe 2. Okay. We also, each of us, nailed exactly number of games and winner of series in our first round picks.
Nice.
Speaking of that, Pat Riley going nuclear in those Heat exit interviews. They did get that one SPO win that you and I predicted, Dave.
Yes, we did. Hey, man, we've been watching this.
Go was like, no, Boston's going to sweep. And we were like,
No, SPO will get you one.
There you go.
There is no reason.
So there you go. We all had Celtics, obviously. Dave and I both had the 5 games as opposed to Goat's 4. Goat, you drilled Knicks in 6. Dave, you and I each also had Knicks winning the series.
Way downtown.
We saw them take care of them in 6. They did not need 7 games.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, man. My gosh, man.
Goat, you and I both nailed Pacers in 6. Dave, what happened to your Bucks?
Man, they fell off a cliff. Well, I'll tell you what
Dame
happened.
didn't play.
Dame Lillard. A team without Dame Lillard and Giannis loses?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I know. I kind of saw that coming, though. I was
shocked.
like,
I didn't see Dame getting hurt. I didn't see
that.
And then
you guys both had the Cavs winning that series against Orlando. I was wrong in my pick of Orlando in 6.
Went 7, though.
It did go 7.
Yeah.
And, I mean, so wait, the home team won all 7 games.
All 7. Yes.
Wild.
That is very
wild.
Very wild.
Okay. Kudos. We did pretty well there. And let's look at the West and see what happened there. We all had Thunder. Dave drilled the Thunder sweep.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming. Neither
I don't
did
know
you.
Why I did that. As soon as we got done with that show, I was like, Thunder are going to win in 5.
Right. I was like, did I
yeah,
just give the Pelicans way too much credit? Because I think I did.
No Zion at all.
Game 1 was tight, but what was I thinking?
No Zion?
Yeah.
It's over.
Nuggets in 5. Neither of you had the Lakers getting a W there, but we all obviously had the Nuggets winning.
I did win some
series.
money on Nuggets winning the series in fewer than 5.5 games.
There you go.
Hey.
There you go.
Ka-ching, ka-ching.
Yeah.
Dave, you and I got Wolves taking the series. You were closer to being dead on, saying you thought they were going to take care of it in 5. I guess the series went 7. Will also guess the series would go 7 with the Suns prevailing.
I didn't see that happening at all.
Samsonite, Will.
Yeah, that actually could not have been more wrong.
But a lot of
The
people
Wolves
felt
1-4.
A lot of people felt the Suns were like
The Suns beat them, I think, 3 or 4-0 in the season series.
Yeah, man.
You bet on like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker to be great in the playoffs.
right.
Man, did they disappoint?
Yeah. And then Clips Mavs. I think I
had the Clips.
You had the Clips. I like how Joey gave you a little half credit there with the green and black square or the green and red square because you did get number of games, but just the wrong team.
I see what you did, Joe.
Goat and I both had Mavs taking the series, but in 7, Mavs took care of it in 6.
For a while that if the Clippers were healthy, they were going to the Western Conference Finals. And they were not healthy at all in that first round.
You could say that every year for the last 5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I just thought they went in. I was out there fine. You know, they'll be healthy. And then Kawhi's like, nope, got a knee, not playing. Sorry, out. And then, then Luka just went Luka and Kyrie went Kyrie. And just a great game plan, too, by them after game 3. I thought they just ran a great game plan against them, man. So, yeah, well done.
Well done. I think we all batted at least 50% on those, if not more.
Yeah, not bad.
Because I'm me and I'm sick in the head, I tallied. So 4 series, each with who wins a number of games in each conference. So that's 16 total choices, right? Mm-hmm. 10, 9, 8.
Wow.
Nice.
Would you have announced that if you did not come in first?
I would have. Yeah, I would have.
That's a good question, though.
We always need to know who the winners and losers are, Joey.
What about just teams who won?
Just the winners of the
Not
series?
The game, not the games.
Just
I'm
the
less,
winners
I'm
of
less
the
interested in
actual
the
series.
games.
Let's see then.
You said just the winners of the actual series.
Just the winners.
Just the winners. So I got one series wrong with Orlando. Dave got one wrong with the Bucks. You got one wrong with the
tied
Suns.
Between Matt and Will.
And then you also had Clippers over Mavs. Mm-hmm. So Dave missed 2 series collectively from the first round. Mm-hmm. Will, you and I missed 1 each.
That's honestly so surprising. I did not think.
I mean, some of those were kind of chalk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I
and
feel
even
like
chalkier. Like Dave,
50%.
you kudos to you for picking some of those series, especially that Minnesota one. You're like, get him out of here.
Come on, dog.
get him out of here. Get KD out of here.
They weren't ready for that. They were, a little older team. They were older, and you're playing against the best defensive team with a dude who I felt was just an absolute monster on offense.
Old and busted.
Yeah.
New hotness. Shout out Will Smith. Okay, so we move along into the conference semis.
Okay.
What do we think we see here? Shout out to our guy Fish, who said I called Wolves sweeping of the Suns. Shout out to you.
Shout out.
Somebody just said in the comments that the Wolves are about to beat Denver. I don't know where that. Okay. Wolves are about to beat the Nuggets. They took game 1.
They did.
I think maybe surprised some people. It did not surprise me because we saw the Nuggets play nowhere near their best brand of basketball in that Lakers series.
No, sir.
They won it in 5.
Yeah.
But the Lakers had a halftime lead in all 5 of those games.
Yeah, which is wild.
I could easily see Nugs and Wolves going 7.
I want them to go 7.
Well, sure.
After game 1, you're like, I want more in every single game of this series. I would feel upset if somebody won in 5 or 6. Like, no, I want all 7 of these. This will undoubtedly, in my opinion, be the best series of any series from any conference because these are just 2 teams that it's rare. It's great when you can get 2 teams that are kind of at their peaks. You know what I mean? Or at least one getting to their peak and close to it, but one that is already there because they're champions. So you got that young team that's almost, they're there. They're like right there to that peak. And then you got that other team just kind of hovering along on theirs, man. And they're going to run into each other, and it's just the best.
Also, it's like, obviously, the Nuggets are the defending champs. Whether or not they finished at the top of the league, they're at the top of the league.
They're the champs, yeah.
But, like, you have this Wolves team that matches up with them
so well.
So well and makes them uncomfortable more than any other team in the league, probably. Mm-hmm. So I think for that reason, it's just.
Did I see though that Rudy is not necessarily getting a green light to play tonight?
Questionable.
Yeah.
I believe for the birth of his child.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, kudos.
So we'll see if he gets back there tonight or not. But
so,
question. I have a question.
What's up, Joe?
Totally random, but it fits in here.
Okay.
I was having a conversation this weekend. I think.
Flex.
I'm not sure about that.
What's to say having a conversation?
Joey's got friends.
Anyways, I think that Anthony Edwards, on the path that he's at right now, could easily crack the starting lineup for Team USA, which features LeBron, Steph, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, and Jason Tatum.
There are a lot of
you're
people in the names you just said that are old and or hurt all
Exactly.
the time.
Yeah.
I would not at all be surprised to
Seriously.
see Ant start and
I'm
lead the
just
team in
making
minutes
sure.
played.
I'm making
Points.
sure that I'm not crazy. He was the best player on Team USA this summer too. I'm just making sure.
No,
I'm
you're not
crazy.
insane. Like, you're absolutely dead on. Like, it's going to be a lot of rooting going on. Jake waving his hat saying he agrees as well.
Dude,
So,
he's for real.
he's for real.
Dropped
dog.
43 in their game 1 win.
Dude.
Just they were like, "Hey, you want to cook?" He was like, "Yes, I do."
Bro, the game lockdown fadeaway that he hit.
Woo!
God damn.
Dude.
I was like,
Some of those crossover step backs,
Oh.
like
He honestly just exudes MJ more than
he
anybody
does.
I've
And
ever
this
seen
young man
since Kobe.
who's 22 just said, "Stop with the MJ comparisons." You know
Yeah.
who started them? MJ.
I'm not comparing them. I'm not comparing them as players.
Right.
Yeah.
You're saying
Just
the
the
look.
way he plays,
The
the
look.
look. My God,
killer.
It's
He's a killer.
uncanny.
Okay, so let's real quickly do picks. I am still going to lean towards championship experience and the Nuggets playing a better version than the one we saw in the first round. I think they can bounce back from that game 1 loss. Even though Minnesota would host a 7th game, I'm taking Denver in 7.
I am too. Again, champions. It's never going to be easy when you're trying to repeat and get there. You're going to run into teams like this. But I just think I still haven't seen them play that game yet.
Yeah.
And every single game they're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen them play their best game. And they still could have won that game. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm still taking the Nuggets because I think that best game is coming and those adjustments are coming as well.
It's hard for me to take the Timberwolves seriously considering they lost to the Bulls twice this year. Just kidding.
Shade while talking about the Western Conference playoffs. I love it.
I don't know if I'm overreacting to this game 1. Probably am. But they already took back home court advantage. I feel like that's such a big deal. I just don't think the Nuggets have played to their peak level, and maybe they can get there, but Murray's not 100% healthy. Like, they just make Jokic think faster than any other team.
They do.
I don't know. I kind of, like,
Can they stay
my
this
head wants to take, actually, I'm not sure which is which here, but I think I'm just going to go with the Timberwolves in 6.
Okay. All right.
Timberwolves
Timberwolves
go
in
with the Timberwolves
6.
6.
Wow.
Feels like
Okay.
something that could be over before, like, the whole time everybody's like, well, Denver's going to get one, and then it's all of a sudden Minnesota's up 3-0.
And if you asked me, if
Are you
asked me 2
predicting
days
that,
ago,
Joe?
No,
I would
I'm
have
just
said
saying
Nuggets
it's a possibility.
in 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I think that's what I said with Legler, but
Yeah. Flex.
Flex. I have a conversation with my friends, and it's a flex. He has a conversation with Tim.
You
Legler.
both said it. What did you want
Go
from
just
me?
drops legs.
You both said it before I can say anything. It's
with my close personal friend.
calling out flexes. So you said Wolves in 6?
So I don't know, like, what am I allowed to take? Because pre-series I took the Nuggets, but I'm kind of.
Oh, so you want to change your answer after game 1?
Well, yeah. We're making the picks now.
We are making the picks now. Make the pick now.
I'm going Wolves in 6.
You're going Wolves in 6? All right. Real quick. Thunder and Mavs, I think this series could also go 7. But I'm just a little bit worried about how hobbled
awesome.
Luka looks.
Yeah,
I don't know if Luka has what it takes, and I don't necessarily trust as solid as he looked closing out the Clippers. I don't trust Kyrie to be that guy if Luka is playing at 60 or 70% of himself. I think I'm going OKC, and I think I'm going to say OKC in 6.
I want to say OKC in 6 because I'm rooting for Dallas. And since I picked against them already,
Yeah, you
I
did.
don't want to pick against them again.
Yeah.
Just so I can win again. But
Saban would disown you.
yeah. But he know they won. And he'll know my reasoning, and love conquers all.
Sure.
So I'm going to say OKC in 7. No, I'm going to say OKC in 6.
There you
I'm
go.
going to say OKC in 6, but I secretly think it's going to be Dallas. I think Kyrie has reached a peak that is like, damn, right about now. And even Luke at 60% is better than 70% of the league or 80% of the league. But he's still amazing. And I love how all they needed was one more guy to just do their thing, and they got it from multiple guys. And Derrick Jones Jr., Maxi Kleber did his thing also. Tim Hardaway Jr. should never play again. I think I'm rooting for Dallas hard, but I'm going to pick OKC on paper.
Vooch trade? Tim Hardaway Jr.? Okay.
Deal.
Go.
I think I'm going to take OKC in 5.
OKC in 5. Wow, okay.
They're really good.
They are really good.
They're really good.
SGA,
good,
real good.
Yeah, man.
I feel like
okay.
losing Kleber.
What's the latest on him?
I don't know the exact.
Shoulder, something?
He had like a
hurt?
They said like
separated
3
AC
weeks
joint.
or 2 to 3 weeks.
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
That's a huge
hurts
deal.
my pick.
Him at the 5 is like a big
Depending
deal
who you
for-
ask.
for
Yeah.
them
Sabine
offensively.
probably sees that as a good thing.
He does, but Kleber was balling out for
He
them
was.
in the last 2 games.
But I also love Luka, and I don't want him to lose.
Yeah. I mean, if it were 100% Luka, then I might say, 7 games and maybe even Mavs in 7.
They're
I
all
feel like
so good at defense.
Yeah.
They all are so good at jump shooting.
Yeah.
Play 5 out. They rebound. They block shots. They protect the. They're just so good.
games.
And they have a better
Celtics in 5 or a sweep. Or I thought about 6 for a half a second. I was like, no, this Cavs team ain't that serious. I'll give them 1. I'm going to say Celtics in 5.
Sweet.
Sweep.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5.
5.
Yep.
And maybe just as exciting as these awesome Western Conference semis, Knicks Pacers. Knicks Pacers. The slowest plotting team in the league against the crazy fast up-tempo Pacers. Just 2 completely conflicting styles. I want it to be a bloodbath like the good old Reggie, Spike Lee, Pacers, Knicks battles of yesteryear.
That would make me feel better.
Who do I think is winning?
Not me.
God, I'm going to give a slight. God,
Not
this
me.
is so hard.
Yeah, because I hate them both.
I think I'm going to take Pacers.
Pacers. Okay.
I feel so not confident about it, but I'm going to say Pacers in. I think they got to close it out at home, though. I don't know if the Pacers can win Game 7 at the Garden. I'm going to say Pacers in 6. I can't pick the Knicks.
I'm not mad at you, man. Oh God, I hate this.
I
Go,
have no
Will.
confidence in
I
that.
gotta
I have
think.
no confidence in
I
that
gotta
because of what we just saw Jalen Brunson do.
Yeah, I got to think. I really got to think, Will.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Knicks in 6. I don't feel great about it because I just feel like the way that they have been playing 6 guys 48 minutes in a game, it's like they're going to collapse at a certain point.
Yeah.
And like chasing Halliburton and Nemhard and Siakam up the court.
Yeah.
That's a way to get run down pretty easily. But
Yeah.
I just think they're the better team. And I also think that their offensive rebounding is going to absolutely crush the Pacers. And, the
Crush the Sixers.
I mean, destroyed them.
That could play into the Pacers' hands because they're able to get out in transition. But I don't know. I just have a feeling about the Knicks. I don't know how much further they're going to make it, but I'm taking them in 6.
Yeah, everything on paper says Pacers for me, but I'm gonna take the Knicks in 7.
I know. Okay, Knicks
And
in 7.
I hate it.
I'm
so
sure
much.
that just tasted like vinegar.
Tastes like pure 100% ass right there.
Cannot wait. We got
I hate
2 of
it.
these conference semis games on deck tonight, including game 1 between the Pacers and Knicks. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Central, right here in studio for another fresh episode of CHGO Bulls. Thanks for tuning into this one. Hit that like button on your way out if you didn't do it yet. If you did do it, thank you for that too. Make sure you also subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. If you're listening on your preferred podcast app, podcast streaming, throw us a rate and review there if you feel so inclined. We like and appreciate those too.
Yeah.
In the meantime, go read that column, the Bulls offseason guide from the one and only Willie Goat. AllCHGO.com is where you can find that.
Tim Legler's friend.
Will_Gottlieb, Big Day Bow, BAWL Sports. I'm Bulls_Peck. Our pound producer on the controls, Joey Spathis,
That's him.
brother of Troll Joe.
Troll Joe.
We will talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy these hoops tonight. See you. Be good, y'all.
Peace.